Mary's turned over 100. A couple of years ago she turned 100 and she's still going along.
Yeah.
She walked with a stick though until recently, and I don't know whether she does now. I can remember when I walked with a stick for a while around the corner, you know, around the square, along the front garden, and then down the side street and up the other one, and right around the square. I used to do that every day. I remember Bruno next door always climbing the fence and latching onto anything. I couldn't have bluebells in my house there. And then when I shifted, he shifted too. He wouldn't shift before I did and give me a bit of peace. I've tried and tried to hide those bluebells. I wanted to grow them, but he took every one that I had. Yes, I remember when the first baby was born.
Where was he born?
Over the road. I went over the night before because I thought I was in labour then. I walked over, but the stopped pain. I came back home again. He was expecting me, and he was wondering when he'd go over to the hospital to find out if I was what he had. And next thing I was calling to him through the front window, "Hey, come on, open the door." And then the next night the doctor came of his own accord, and by this time I was out in the back room, in this little bedroom, and I'd pulled off the things I was wearing. I was in labour and I was having pain, and I was throwing things down there and the dad was in bed, and the doctor came late at night. And he said, so I heard him say, "Oh, she's got out on me while I was asleep, and she must be in the other room." And he walked into all this mess thrown on the floor that I was tearing at, you know. And he said, "Get over there." I said, "I went over last night and had to come home again." He said, "You won't come home this time." And I didn't.
Ted have a motorbike?
Ted? Oh yes, Ted. Yes, he did have a motorbike.
Yeah.
Of course he did. I went to Sunbury on the back of his motorbike.
Did you? What was that like?
Oh, well, I was young then. I didn't mind. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it now, though.
No. What if do you remember riding a horse?
Oh yes. Where was that now?
Up a Gundarian.
Yes. And what's the name of that other place? The long name there.
Tamdambalanga?
Tamdambalanga, yes.
You can't spell that, can you?
No. Cantambangala.
That's pretty good.
I was yakking down to two when I was a kid.
I won't ask you to spell that one.
Yckandandah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes, I remember that trip up there, and Johnny got on the horse, and the horse rolled his skin, and John fell off. Just because the horse didn't buck or anything, he just rolled his skin and he fell off.
Yeah. You've had that violin for a long time, haven't you?
Yes, I had it ever since I was a little girl. I had a 3/4 one when I started, of course, and then I got too big for it, and then when I got this one that my teacher said this belonged to a very, very old lady. She had it all her life. Yes. Well, I had mine all my life, and so it must be over nearly about 200 years old, that violin. I used to accompany all the singers, play harmony to their what they were singing. I could do it, you know. If I could read music, but if I once read music, I was tied to that place, to that thing. I had to have the music, but if I didn't have it, I could just play by ear. I had to learn by ear because you couldn't get, with the singers all so different, everybody different coming along, and I had to play with them. I couldn't have the music for everybody, so I just sort of learned to play by ear. And it just came naturally to me because I could play at 2 strings at one time. I played one time there in one of the places where I just played the what they call double stopping. There's 2 strings at one time. I know the thing that I played to carry me back to old Virginia. I played that on 2 strings.
Is this where you met Mick?
Yes, he was in a concert. He was a very good flautist, though. He could read anything at sight. He could play as quickly as could be. It was a pleasure to listen to him. It's one thing he could do better than anything else.
And did you play in the orchestra together?
Yes, I met him in the orchestra, Burgess's orchestra. They had an orchestra, and that's where I met him. And then we'd be playing a march. There's a march there, and then it would break into the chorus, you know. And I always waited for the flute thing to come, because he used to ripple up and down to the chorus, you know, put in the variations while we played away at the tune. Da, 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 da. And then he put all the variations in, and then when he finished, he'd look over at me to see how I took it, and I'd give him a smile back, and he'd be quite happy. He'd be proud of himself.
Do you remember much about the Olympic Games?
Well, only that I was a hostess over at one of the houses over there.
Did you get to speak to many of the athletes?
Oh, yes, a lot of them. They were lovely girls, you know, very, very nice girls. I felt so sorry for them when they came back. And some of them were crying. And I said, well, why are you crying? They said, well, we've got to face up to our family when we go home. They think we've got a ring. I said, but you don't forget that you are the best of that your country could find. You're against all the other countries. You're the best of your country. But they couldn't be consoled at all. I felt sorry for them. I mean, at Christmas time we'd be all out in the yard and everywhere. I could never forget that.
Yeah.
We have all our family, the whole crowd there. And you remember the time I won the big basket of goodies, and I said anybody that I hadn't given a present could take something out of the basket, and I put the basket down the middle of the lawn. And everybody jumped up to go and see, and Julie said, you've started a riot. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Thank you very much for all coming along to my birthday. It's been a great pleasure to have you all here, and to have all know that you're all my friends, and realise now that I have a lot of friends. And I thank very much all my sons, because they have been such wonderful fellows to me.